Hello twin flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check. Welcome to my channel, whether you're new or you're coming back. Today I'm coming to you from Maui, one of the islands of Hawaii. So aloha Maui and mahalo for being here with me. Let's do this read. It's gonna be a classic read today. I have all of my decks here. Not doing it during the day. I actually had a technical issue, and that's why the last reading that I recorded, I wasn't able to post successfully because it didn't record correctly. But here we are. I'm doing this. It turned out I thought my first week in Maui was gonna be more or less laid back, apart from the fact that I have to record all my horoscope readings this week for April. But you know, like, it's still gonna be pretty easy. But I started looking for a dance studio here because I'm finally in town and it's easier to locate those. And it's much better for me, that experience, than just dancing at random location or at home. And then I booked a few tours, and I thought they were gonna be mostly next week, but I had to start this week with some of them. So it turned out a pretty busy week after all. But we'll make the most out of it. Yeah, next week I'm probably gonna be less available for readings, but my main goal is to do all the horoscopes by end of this week. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's see how it works out. In the meantime, let's start the reading. And as always, I'm starting with an oracle deck. Today is going to be the Cosmic Journey Oracle. Let's see what we have for Divine Feminines first of all. Ooh, that was quick. Right into this reality, number 32, right? Changes into this reality. I'm hearing immediately. 32 comes down to 5, right? Whatever changes you're looking to bring in, write them down, record them. And I'm just thinking on top of my head, my example is I recorded my travel plans, like what I'm doing when, what I want to do when, you know, at least briefly. And then of course you can dive into details wherever you want to add those details, really. Okay, let's see what we have for the masculine. I did find the studio eventually, the dancing studio. I met this really nice guy who is the teacher, and he just let me use it. He was like, you know, come wherever you want. I'll just show you what to do, you know, how to get in and stuff. And I was like, whoa. How did that happen? Okay, what do we have for the masculine? Um, 30, trust and act accordingly. Ooh, I love this. And first and foremost, it means trust yourself, Divine Masculines, if you're watching. It means don't doubt your gut feel. Don't dismiss any kind of flags, or if it's the other way around, like you get like extra, you know, I don't know, light bulb moments. If something good is coming in and you feel like this is exactly the right choice for you, right? And if the logic is telling you otherwise, listen to that gut feel. Pay attention to the light bulb. It's very important right now. This is the divine act, right? Like, this is that connection. This is look at this color, the crown chakra, right? This is the cleansing of the channel I'm even hearing. So this will enable you, this is gonna build up your skill. So you're able to get those downloads from spirit about what is going on, or like what is really going on, right? Or what is the next step. Wow, amazing. Okay, let's see what we have as tarot. So we'll start with Divine Feminine. I already got the card. Sorry, they're flying like crazy. 2 of Cups in reverse. Please clarify. We have a lot of trees outside that are blooming with flowers, like trees and bushes, and they smell so great right now. I can smell them, even though my windows, like, well, actually they are open, I guess. Yeah, my balcony is open, so I'm actually like on the 3rd floor, so I'm not like immediately with them, next to them, but I can still smell it because there's so much of it in the air. It's beautiful. Queen of Swords. Ooh. Divine Feminines is seeing that the soulmate connection, the soul connection. This is in particular, I'm getting more about the life partnership. It can be with your DM, can be with a strong soulmate, but you're seeing whoever it is that you're considering that it's not exactly the picture you painted before, or it's like it's coming to your attention what kind of compromises you'll have to make, or like how's it, basically it's like, you know, like expectation and reality, how the reality is different from expectation, and like there's still so much fluff and artificial stuff that you had on your mind when you were picturing that special someone in your life together. And I mean specifics. I don't just mean holding hands and walking into the sunset. I mean like actual real life stuff, right? Day in, day out, your household related questions, your finances, your careers, I don't know, maybe travel, maybe children, whatever those topics are. You're now like it's sinking in that, you know, like some parts you would need to be more flexible in, some parts maybe your options were not the best and you should be like, there's nothing wrong with going for what your partner says. Like it's not like you're supposed to stand up for yourself and like dictate everything, right? It's about finding those common spaces, right? And like be okay if maybe your partner doesn't necessarily share interest for all of your hobbies, right? Something along those lines. Like for example, if I'm a dancer and my partner isn't as much into dancing, it should be fine. Like I shouldn't be making him do dance with me just because, you know, it's a couple thing. It's kind of like supposed to support and encourage the interaction, the dynamic between us, the relationship, right? All those dances are about expressing our love in like with your body and stuff like that. Like it's great for a couple to do that, but I shouldn't be hung up on that. And if the person tells me that they don't want to do it, I should be fine with it and not take it personally. You see, it's those kind of examples. But it doesn't mean I have to give up my dancing, right? Like it's also about them being comfortable with that I will be dancing with someone else in that case, right? Like it's obvious. Like if they don't want to be my partner, another guy will be my partner, whether it's a teacher or just another guy, you know? Are they ready for that? That's the question, right? Okay, what do we have for the masculine? That was quick. We have the Sun and Lovers in reverse. You notice the pattern, really? The Lovers is a little different than soulmates though, than Two of Cups. On that, like, it's not as much as necessarily about like actual life partnership, right? It could be a lot of other different things, but it's a major arcana. Both of them are major arcana. So Divine Masculine is healing certain patterns and some of their visions and expectations and beliefs about what loving relationship is. And it can be on many levels. It doesn't have to be just with the opposite energy, right? Not like just a romantic relationship, but a loving relationship overall. So that's where there is synchronicity on one hand. It's like they're obviously like there's something still processing there, and they're still figuring out how they want to build their life and how they want to be in a loving relationship. What does it mean exactly, right? That's the synchronicity here with what the feminines are doing. But for masculines, it's more like they immediately go back to what kind of limiting beliefs they have or what still hurts from previous relationships, from childhood, right? So they immediately go into that traumatic space where it still needs to be healed. Like they understand that their vision, it may not be the healthiest just because they didn't have a good experience with it before, right? And that's what their brain remembers. So they understand they need to go back and do the healing. Make sure that that is not holding them back for future relationships with someone who doesn't even have anything to do with those past traumas, right? That's one of the worst things I get, I think, when about like living, like dragging those past experiences with yourself through life, that people who have nothing to do with it get hurt. They get like the consequences, right? Like they get that wave, that kind of like explosive wave that just perpetuates, right? I mean, sometimes they are responsible, of course, but I mean, even if they haven't done anything wrong, they will still be under that pressure. Okay, let's see what we have for the connection at this time. Very interesting energies, but I like the cards. It's all about building something new, something interesting. I might actually do a reading about Pluto in Pisces Pluto in Aquarius tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Tomorrow is gonna be the day when I'm doing my tour, my like all-day tour. That's gonna be pretty intense. I'm going to the mountains, to the valley, like, you know, it's gonna be a lot to take in. So I'll see what I can manage. Maybe it's just gonna be the, like, you know, the default reading, the classic reading, but I would like to do a dedicated reading about Pluto in Aquarius. Didn't do that last week, although the switch happened on Thursday, I believe, if memory serves me right. So it's pretty important. It's still gonna be important till end of May, so I'll try to do that reading next. For connection, we have Two of Wands and Page of Pentacles. So this is about setting the scene, and look at the colors too, right? We have here, we have a lot of orange, a little bit of blue. Here we have a lot of blue and a little bit of orange. So it's also almost like that yin yang space, right? And orange is the yang. This is the sacral chakra, the masculine chakra, right? About having the drive, right? Having the passion to carry on the journey. And blue is the throat chakra, which is the feminine chakra, the yin, right? About being able to be honest with yourself, first of all, and with other people too, about what's going on with you and how you see things, how things are changing for you, how you still feel like you have a lot to learn, right? Yeah, this journey is not for the faint-hearted. So if you still feel like you have to keep, you know, what's going on with your twin flame journey on the down low, or you're not even talking about that with your friends and family, that you are a twin and how you see your mission, it's fine. It's your personal space, and, you know, take your time for when you're ready. But remember that that's, if you are keeping it on the down low and for some reason, like, you're purposefully omitting that information, it's like there's always going to be this little energy of stagnation, because this is where you cannot be yourself, basically, right? Like, if it's a stranger who you met once and then they ask you questions and you decided not to keep this information private, that's one thing. But if we're talking about someone who you interact with on the regular basis, so you have to be hiding it again and again and again, maybe even come up with some other story or timeline on like how you spend time or how you see your life in the future and stuff like that, you know, it's only going to be gathering that, I'm seeing like this snowball effect metaphor, gathering that kind of burden, then again will need to be cleared off. That's why this is a little off topic, but I guess somebody needed to hear that. I had this conversation with a friend of mine in Hawaii a few weeks back, and we were talking about relationships, and one of the topics was about like whether it's worse or whether there is anything useful in being in communication in a relationship with someone toxic. And it's not necessarily, again, not necessarily a romantic relationship, could be a friend, a colleague, whoever, right? And my friend had a point that it's like, you know, you're always learning lessons. Isn't that the truth, right? Like, you can learn from anybody and from any situation, and that's true. But if you already know what is that about, like what kind of patterns the person is following, and you understand consciously that you've already done that work, that you've already learned those lessons, there is no point in wasting your time for that. Because, and usually you don't feel attracted to those people or situations anyway. That's a very clear sign that you've learned what you could have learned out of it, right? Or you've already seen something like that before, so this experience is not going to give you anything new. So it's best to just move on from it. It's like, you know, life is short. If you keep living through the same experience, especially as twins, because we have so much going on, we usually have a lot of these experiences. Like, if, you know, like the average person will have like X amount, we have like 5X amount of that kind of stuff. So it's overwhelming already, like it is, like as we magnetize certain energies to ourselves, right? So there's no point in bringing in more of that negativity consciously if we understand that it's having a negative effect on us. Because there is a good chance, if you feel like it's negative and you're forced to do it, you don't feel like doing it, there's a good chance there's nothing valuable for you to learn, apart from the fact that you shouldn't be doing that ever again, right? The second part is, every time those people and situations deplete your energy, like you interact with them, they deplete your energy or they bring your vibration down, and then you have to build it up again, right? You have to cleanse, to heal, to meditate, to ascend, you know, like in a new way. And it takes energy and effort and time, right? So it's taking valuable resources from what you could be given to the world, right? Sharing, helping, inspiring people. And you are wasting that energy on just bringing yourself back up, because you have to, right? Because that's how you're gonna operate in your, like, in your mode of a light worker, of a individual that you want to be, etc., etc. You don't want to be in a low vibe energy, right? By default. So yeah, that's interesting. That's for the twins. And I get that we got this in the twin space because one of these topics is, I mentioned the light work and mission, but one of the topics is, of course, the connection with your twin. And it's not a very easy one to explain to people who don't get it, but, and I'm talking even from my own experience, it's worth considering it. And I know when I was telling that to the first of my friends, like the first person, it was really scary for me, especially because it was my close friend, and I didn't know at that moment what their reaction will be. Like, it could have been negative. They could have thought that it's like, ooh, Victoria's got something crazy going on in there, you know, but they didn't. And then it was easier and easier every time to explain those things, right? And I'm catching myself still doubting, like, for certain situations, certain people, whether I should mention it or not, you know. And obviously it's your private space and nobody should care anyway, and it usually comes up when there is a potential other candidate for life partnership, right? And it's like, do I tell them or not? Like, this may be too much to take in, really, right? So I'm finding that sometimes I'm still sort of like, I don't think I should mention that whole twin flame thing, especially since, you know, we are following our own path at the moment. So it is a tricky one, yeah. Okay, let's do the messages. Yes, that's what's left. I've got the Hermit Tarot, and let's see what DM has to say to DF today. Woo. Sorry, too many cards. I don't want to get too many cards. I feel like, especially with messages, the message just kind of gets blurry when there are too many cards. It's harder to kind of put it into a single message or like a couple of messages. Okay, I have one. plenty. I feel the same way. And by the way, this is Two of Cups. And we had Two of Cups from the feminine side. This is the masculine talking. I feel the same way. I just want you all the time. And if I follow you, I could lose everything. So you see, I started talking about compromising at the beginning. This is food for thought for everyone listening, really. That nobody in a relationship should feel like they would lose everything if they go ahead with it, you know? Messages from feminines to masculines. But right now, this is one of the concepts, one of the questions that the masculine is contemplating. Ooh. Here we have sex, strong sexual tension. And this again explains the sacral chakra here. I'm open to compromise. This is the blue color in their connection space. And one sword, again, communication, honest communication. And I mentioned that too. Okay, yeah, so feminines are like, I want us to communicate openly. Could be about sex, could be about daily life. Anything you have doubts about, let's be able to talk about it. And we both still have some work to do there. But I want us to be in a safe space where we can say it like it is and we can agree about a feasible solution for us. Or at least share of our own life if we're not building our life together yet. Thank you. Yeah, that's an important update. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I love you all. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Bye, everyone.